Welcome in. Today we are exploring Wilderness Lodge, modeled after the great lodges across our national parks. Also, this is considered a Magic Kingdom resort, so it does have separate boat transportation to Magic Kingdom, but don't worry, if you don't like boats, you do have a bus. Let's get in and check out what this resort has to offer. You walk into this massive 6-story lobby with these huge teepee lights. And I'm imagining they look this big from the ground that they have got to be huge if you were up there with them. I think somebody told me at one point that they are actually 6 feet tall. But anyway, let me back up. To your right is going to be check-in. To your left is one of the, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 restaurants here. This is Whispering Canyon Cafe. It is my favorite here. It is all you care to enjoy, family style, and the servers are always dishing up antics. So if you ever come here and you don't like to be embarrassed, do not ask for ketchup. But there it is. They're open brunch 7:30 to 2 and then dinner 5 to 10. Let's keep going down this lobby, and this resort kind of spreads out, so we'll take it kind of one way at a time. Just past Whispering Canyon, you have this massive fireplace, and the rockwork design on it going up is absolutely beautiful. If you ever come to this resort, just take a moment to soak it all in. At the very back, we have what is a little geyser, or the headwaters of the river that flows down through the center of this resort. Usually those windows aren't frosted, but they're doing a little bit of refurbishment on the outside of the building, so they have them blocked off. But here it is, and it runs under this bridge and outside. And we'll pick it up later when we get to the outside. I'll show you how that goes. As I just mentioned, this resort kind of spreads out. There's a lower level to this lobby where there's another restaurant and your quick service, but that heads down towards the pool. So we'll kind of head that way in a second. Right now, we are gonna make a right and kind of go past check-in out this way, and I can show you where the buses are before we get too deep into this resort. As we're coming up here on the right, you have the Wilderness Lodge Mercantile, which has this amazing totem pole here. But as usual, we'll head back in there towards the end and look at resort-specific merchandise. For now, we are heading out these side doors. Here is a list of this resort's activities. I'll kind of zoom in and let you scan that QR code if you want to get the most up-to-date information. But it has a list of all activities going on here, like their signature event is the Tasteful Artistry, where you decorate wooden artwork. If you see this $sign, it does mean that it costs extra. And then at night, they have their movies under the stars. This is their current offerings in time. Like I said, use that QR code to get the most up-to-date information. Now, this is something really interesting here that I just need to get my rear end out of bed and come to one morning. It is the Wonders of the Lodge, Art and Architectural Tour. It happens every morning at 9 a.m. and they take you around this resort and kind of give you behind the scenes information on its architect and artwork. So how cool is that? And then they have more crafts that are in Humphrey's Hideout, which I'll show you where that is. It's down by the pool. And then at night, they have their campfire where you can roast marshmallows for free or purchase a s'mores kit. Now that we've taken that little break, let's continue to head out the side doors. We've made it through the doors, and on your way to the buses, you'll find the Bells and Button Arcade. It is your standard Disney arcade. It's pretty much got all the same games as any other resort, and it is just outside the side doors here. Continuing on down this outdoor breezeway, 2 things happen here. Actually, I should say 3 things happen here. You can take a left here, and this goes down towards the DVC pool. Straight goes into the DVC building, and right takes you down to your bus stops. And that is where we're heading right now. Here's where you can catch all your buses to all 4 theme parks, plus Disney Springs, and they are numbered. Also, you can catch an internal bus per se that'll take you over to the campground. So if you want to go check out Trails End, or you had reservations at Hoop-Dee-Doo Review, you could get over there on a resort bus. Come back to the center of that breezeway. We are gonna head up to the left, back into the lobby. Towards the end, we're going to do the Boulder Ridge Villas, which is the DVC. We'll go look at their kind of lobby area and their pool, and we'll do that all together after we finish taking a look at the main lodge resort. If you ever meet me at the parks, I am a talker. So I am back in the lobby, and I just want you to know from what I recorded coming in that door to now, it's probably been about 30 minutes, because as soon as I run into somebody and start talking, it's over. So, you know, you guys might only see these resort reviews for 20 minutes, but it takes me all day to record them because I am a talker. With that disclaimer, we're back in the lobby. There's the fireplace. We're going to head down this ramp. This says Territory Lounge, Artisan Point, Roaring Fork Pool, and Guest Rooms. Territory Lounge is the lounge that is connected to Artisan Point, and Artisan Point is the other table service here, the more upscale one that has the character dinners with Snow White, the Evil Queen, and dwarfs. Territory Lounge opens at 4 p.m. daily, which I do believe is the same time as Artisan Point, maybe a little bit earlier. But here it is. Look at this awesome lounge, this bar, the carvings. So it is a full bar, and I do believe they have some small plates, but not very much food because, like I said, it is the bar for Artisan Point. We won't be able to go into Artisan Point because it is currently closed, but we can go up here and kind of look through the gate. Like I said, this is where you will meet Snow White. The Evil Queen will invite you to come see her, and it is usually hard to get into. But here you go. This is where that will take place. Again, Artisan Point, Snow White and friends, and the Evil Queen. From Territory Lounge and Artisan Point, we are continuing down the ramp to where the Roaring Fork is. And it's down here on the left, kind of poolside. It's inside, but it has some poolside sitting. And this is the quick service. Like with all of your deluxe resorts, they do not have a food court. They have a quick service where you can order and then they'll bring it out to you. Here is some of their breakfast servings. They have until 11. And here's some of their dinners. Now, oh, this barbecue brisket and burnt ends is delicious. I have had that before and I love it. They also have a bear claw here that is unique to this. I'm gonna show you that, and it is delicious. We came in from the Roaring Fork right there. This is where you would order. Everything is ordered here. They do have a grab and go section over here where you can get some danishes and cookies, and then of course, drinks, and then fruit cups and parfaits and salads. But oh, this is what we walked over here for. Look at the size of that. That is their specialty. That's their bear claw. Me and my wife got it on a date night once, and we struggled to finish that. I mean, yes, I finished it. I'm not a quitter, but we struggled. This is also where you can get your resort refillable mugs. They actually have a new design that just came out in the past couple weeks. These are $22.99 and can be refilled at any resort. Unfortunately, cannot be refilled at the parks though. Here's where you would pick up mobile orders. But if you're eating in, there is a indoor sitting section here, and also a beverage station where you can refill those mugs. There's more seating out here kind of in the hallway. I've never sat out here, but there's more sitting outside. And I have eaten out here. Now, it's a little cooler today, but they do have ceiling fans for when it heats up, and when it gets too cold, they have heaters, so they try to keep this comfortable. And this is also, I don't know if you can see through those bushes, right by the pool. We're gonna kind of go up here into the middle of this building and then work our way back down to the pool. If you remember when we were in the lobby and I showed you the small geyser kind of headwater start of the river, it was right through there. And this is where it just keeps flowing outside and around. And there's all kind of paths and rocks and bridges. So it's really kind of cool to come out here and explore this if you have the time. Here's our first little bridge we cross, and we're gonna go over to the outlook. From this outlook, you get views of the pool. You can see the rest of the river. You can hear the waterfall. We'll look at it from the bottom in a second. And then out to Bay Lake. So let's get down off this point, get finished looking at the rest of this river, and check out the pool. There's the lookout where we were standing just a moment ago. There is the beautiful waterfall in the middle of this resort. River keeps coming down, goes under the bridge, and then continues right into the pool, which looks like the river as it goes. Now don't worry, this is separate water than what is on the waterfall behind us. It switches under the bridge, it stops under here, and then they have a pump that pumps out the fresh pool water down this. This pool's made to resemble kind of like a little swimming hole, and it does have a slide like all the moderate and deluxe resorts as it comes around. But however, it is a little bit smaller than most deluxe pools. There is another pool over on the DVC side that we'll take a look at when we explore the DVC that is a little bit bigger. Here's another look at the pool, and you can see the theming continues. It goes under here and goes out. The river continues all the way into Bay Lake. And then this is the geysers down here. They go off, I think it's every 30 minutes to an hour, and it blasts water up into the air. So if you can time it out right, if you're coming down to the boat or coming down to Geyser Point Restaurant, it is something to see. Looks like they might be turned off today with it being cold. Between the main pool and the splash pad, there are 2 hot tubs hidden back here. I'll show you this one. The other one is a mirror image, but there are people in it, so I don't want to get them. As we come across the boardwalk, you do have the splash ground here with a couple other smaller slides, and of course one of the dump buckets to get everybody wet. But as you continue along this boardwalk over the swamp, and when I say swamp, this is a true Florida swamp. It takes you down to the docks where you can catch a boat to Magic Kingdom. I do not know if I mentioned it, I don't think I did, but this resort also has cabins on the waterfront, much like the bungalows at the Polynesian, except more of a style wilderness. They're like A-frame cabins, and they have back porches or screened-in porches that overlook Bay Lake. This is one of the bridges that will take you out to those cabins. When we get over to the DVC side, we will look at those because those are a little bit easier to access and see when we get over there. But this is the boat docks that'll take you to the Magic Kingdom. They will also, in the afternoons, take you out to the Contemporary in case you had reservations over there, and also will take you to the campground in case you had reservations or wanted to check it out. Worked our way back over to the other side of the pool. Over here is also where you'll find Humphrey's Hideout, which is, when you remember looking at the events around the resort and the activities, this is where some of them took place, the arts and crafts and pen trading and things like that. Walking by Humphrey's is where you come to Geyser Point. This is the final restaurant on the property that we'll tour. And they have a beverage refill station, so if you want to come over from either of the pools, they're kind of located in between the DVC pools there. The main lodge pool is behind me, so you don't have to go inside and get wet. They do have a beverage refill station. And you can also mobile order here if you didn't want to do the table service or sit at the bar. Here is that beverage station. Here is your mobile order pickup. This is open from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. And you can see it has a full service bar in the center, and then has tables under this awning all around, and then also has tables outside sitting at the lake. Back behind Humphreys and to the side of Geyser Point Bar and Grill, this is where you will find the fire pit where they do their roasting marshmallows and selling their s'mores kit. And it is right here on the lake and right at the end where our little river from the pool finally goes into Bay Lake. Now this technically is the front of Geyser Point. If you wanted to sit, you would need to come see the hostess because those seats are reserved for people inside the bar and grill. Here's the seating on the outside of Geyser Point. You do not need reservations for it unless they decide to put up a sign that says you do. They'll put them on the table if possible. But you look out at what's being built, the Lakeshore Lodge, and boats coming to and from the campground. But further down that way starts the recreation for the DVC members and DVC pool. So what we're gonna do is go back to the front of the resort, kind of where the buses are, and start the DVC tour from the front of it. We are picking up our tour kind of at one of the places we began. I know in the beginning I said that this place just kind of goes in every direction, and it does. It's not like a circle, so it's really hard for me to figure out what order to do this in. But that is the awning walkway that goes into the side where the arcade is and where we'll end at the gift shop. That way took you to the buses. This walkway takes you right to the DVC pool, which we'll look at in a second. And this walkway takes you to the lobby of the DVC villas, which is where we are heading now. This is the lobby, I guess you would say, of the DVC section. However, you do check in at the regular lodge. It is beautiful, it is quiet, and I love this ceiling with all the logs and the chandelier going in here. Now, inside here to the left is where you will find your Sturdy Branches Fitness Club, which is basically your hotel resort gym. A few free weights, few weight machines, of course, treadmills and stationary bikes, pretty typical. But my favorite room in here is coming up to the right. This room actually has some of Walt Disney's very own train cars in it. This is the ones that he would ride around his backyard in, if you've ever seen those videos. So it is so awesome that they have these here for us to see. And I feel like so many few people ever come down here and really check it out. And then with that, if you come over here, they do have pictures of Walt with the train set. If I can get the glare out of there. There he is riding on it. And just behind the villas, you have the Boulder Ridge pool. Now, this pool does not have a slide. It does have a hot tub. You do have these sitting sections, which kind of are like cabanas, but they're first come, first serve. You do have some water features coming in here, an infinity edge, a zero entry on this side. And another one of the perks about this another one of the perks about this pool is there's waiters and waitresses from Geyser Point that will come take your order and bring it to you at the pool. We finally made it all the way back behind the Boulder Ridge pool complex. This is the backside of Geyser Point that we saw earlier. And if you come around here, this is Reunion Station, which is every DVC resort kind of has their home base. I'm not sure what exactly you would call it, but a room for Disney DVC members to relax. And then over here, they have the boat rental and fishing experiences you can pay for. And then you have cornhole set up by the docks. And then out here to the left, as part of the DVC, they have foosball, ping pong, and pool. Coming back towards the pool, you hang a left. This is where you'll find the Cascade cabins. These are the cabins over on the DVC side. They are easier to see and get to, but we'll kind of show you what this closest one looks like. We can't really go in and tour it or see the back of it, but they are secluded down here, and I would love to get the chance to stay in one of these. Only thing we have left to do is go inside, go to the merchantile, and check out the resort-specific merchandise. We have made it to our last stop, the Wilderness Lodge Merchantile, to look at some resort-specific merchandise. And I do really like the merchandise they have here because they have a lot of Smokey the Bear merchandise. Look at this Smokey the Bear shoodie, as my family calls them. They are shirts. Oh no, this one's a hoodie jacket. Okay, so it says only you, but it doesn't say can prevent wildfires. And then we have the Keep It Green. Only you can prevent wildfires. Anyway, like I said, forest fires. And they got a Smokey hat, and I promise they have resort-specific merchandise, but I love the Smokey the Bear stuff. Like, I thought this was really cool. This is their beach towel here, and it's them stacked up like the totem pole outside of the gift shop. I think that is so awesome. And then we go into our last section of Smokey the Bear stuff before we actually get to this resort stuff. And oh wow, I thought that was gonna be heavy, like some kind of stone, but it is very light. And since 1944, prevent wildfires, I mean forest fires. And I love the color of that shirt and Smokey the Bear on it. But let's move on. Let's move on from Smokey. Here we go with their really cool merchandise. Look at this Wilderness Lodge jacket. Oh, that is so great. And you know what? $64 Disney prices? Not that bad. Not that bad. You got a polo here with the same patch. You got a t-shirt with the same logo. A women's polo with the same logo. Now, I like this. It's Mickey as a ranger, and it has the patch on the side, the Wilderness Lodge patch. And then if you get that, of course, yes, you can get matching socks for it. Why would you not get matching socks for your t-shirt? And then another neat little keepsake is a model of the totem pole that is outside the gift shop. They do have a Tervis. All the resorts seem to have Tervises right now. You got Mickey and Pluto out there, and I don't remember this ranger's name. He was always in the Humphrey cartoons, but it does say Wilderness Lodge. And then I don't know if you would consider this a mug or a stein, and I probably shouldn't pick it up with my shakiness, but man, it is heavy, and it's got that totem pole, and I'm gonna put it down and turn it around. And it says Wilderness Lodge on the back and the leaves. And then this is also glass, so we're gonna leave this alone. This is Geyser Point. It is the restaurant and bar we saw down by the lake. Okay, it just says that on it, so that's really cool. Of course, you have a Christmas ornament. What gift shop doesn't have a Christmas ornament? Now this, I like. It's similar to the one that you see over at the campground, but it's for the lodge. Look, it's got Mickey. This is their lounge fly, and it's set up like a backpack. It's wild out there. Geyser Point Bar and Grill. Look at Pluto on that. That is so cool. I would use this for my laptop. Last item on the resort specific before we get to give a hoot, don't pollute, is the robe. Like most of your deluxe resorts, you can get a robe from it. And if you are a certain age, mainly certain of my age, you got the Give a Hoot, Don't Pollute. And it is a hoodie. And I love the stripes to match the color. No, it doesn't have anything on the back, but as cold as it's been in Florida this year, a hoodie might not be a bad idea. And also, really people, give a hoot, don't pollute. Especially in Florida, our waterways are protected and we need those animals. Thank you for joining me on this tour of Wilderness Lodge. If you have any questions, suggestions, or comments, please leave them below. We'd love to hear them. And again, thank you for watching. If you like what we're doing here, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel. Remember to treat everyone with kindness, and we'll see you next time.